The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It is this thing that he said it was. Thanks for being here. It's the Ron Van Dam Show. I do this on the radio and through that internet radio thing with the Amazon Music and the Pandora Music, not the jewelry company, and iHeartRadio and various syndicated stations across this wonderful country of ours. And all the platforms and people named Bob, it's all there. Welcome to the show. Once a week I come into this studio, look, I used my hands, to this studio to do what I do on the radio with some changes. On the radio I interview some experts on various topics of what I may be talking about. Here, I don't bring people in here. I just talk for half an hour incessantly. If this is what you want to watch, okay, up to you, but certainly not a requirement, like paying property tax. Okay, welcome to the show. What would you like to talk about today? I can't hear you. I've got these headphones on. I can't hear you. I'll just talk about what I want to talk about. Okay, let's do it that way. Oh, God, really, huh? Seriously? A lot of people say, Ron, why do you do this? And to be honest with you, I have no idea. I have no idea. I've just been doing it for so long that I don't know what else to do. I guess that's the problem. Those of you who may find me familiar, which would be scary if you did, for 25 years, I did a television show with Comcast and that Continental Cablevision thing. Are you old enough to know what I'm talking about? Our variety show called Another Night was on 10 towns on a network. Back then, I'm going to date myself, back in the 80s and early 90s, there was a network, Channel 3 they called it, and I was on that network like a lot. It was like every time you turned on the TV, my face would be there. It was absolutely ridiculous. That went on for a long time. So we did this show once a week, and it would repeat almost every day to all these 10 towns in this area. So it's pretty, and then I got hired by the radio stations in the Boston area to do a morning talk show, which I did for a little over 2 decades as well. And that was it. Okay, thanks. And that's it. That's my story. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye. A couple of days ago, I was sitting, it was in the evening, I was sitting at a local cocktail lounge. Won't say which one because I don't want to give anybody any business. And there's these 2 guys sitting about 4 seats away from me, and they were talking sports. I don't talk sports. I enjoy them sometimes, not a lot. I like basketball, long walks on the beach. Anyway. They were talking sports, and they were talking about a hockey player, some Canadian hockey player, and I think they all are anyway. And they were arguing about if he was that good and how does he compare, and he's the best hockey player. And the other guy said, no, he's not. Yes, he is. And they started arguing, and their voices got higher. So I could tell that even though it probably wasn't a life and death conversation, they were both getting into it in a raised voice kind of thing. And that's when I said to myself, check, please. That's when I said, it's just not worth it. When you guys are getting all, I mean, maybe you're having fun arguing back and forth, but is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't know. They were arguing, and I don't know. I don't watch much hockey because I can't figure hockey out. I know the rules of the game, I get it and all that, but when I'm watching hockey, even on television, much less go to a game. I've been to a few games in my time. Even when I'm there, I can't tell where the puck is. It's this tiny little black dot compared to these big Canadian people. And I can't tell. The only way I know where the puck is that's where most of the guys are at this time. They're swatting away at something. Must be the puck. I don't think it's a fly or a mouse that got into the rink. I think that's probably the puck. That's the only way I can tell where the puck the puck is. Anyway, and then inevitably a fight breaks out, and the guys take their gloves off and their masks, and they start punching the hell out of each other. And I say, is this really worth it? Is it? You're smacking yourselves in the face, throwing punches, bleeding. Is it really worth it? It's a game. To them, although they get paid rather well, it's more than just a game. It's a salaried occupation, and you're threatening their salaried occupation, I suppose. I really don't know what's going on. But it's just odd that at a hockey game, a fight always breaks out. And I always find that incredibly distasteful. People bring their kids to watch the hockey game, and, let's watch, remember sportsmanship. But look, Mommy, they're taking their gloves off and they're beating the crap out of each other. I guess that's what you should do in life. I guess that's the way you should express your frustrations. I don't understand why fights have to break out at these hockey games. I don't get it. It's not like you're going to a boxing match. You're paying like $500 for a seat to watch a boxing match. And the two boxers are like punching each other. And then all of a sudden, a hockey game breaks out. It doesn't happen. Anyway, so I don't quite understand that. Hockey might be the worst game ever. I don't know. Basketball fights break out, but they don't. It's not a big deal. Baseball, it's just a bunch of fat men who get frustrated and then they waddle away. It's football, yeah, a couple of fights will break out, but they're dressed in so much gear, it doesn't really make any difference. And it doesn't happen that much. They'll get tossed out of the game. But in hockey, no, you started punching the other guy on the other team. Sit in the box for a couple of minutes. Go sit in the box. Seriously, is that a lesson? That's why they fight all the time at hockey games, because they don't learn their lesson. I'm going to beat the crap out of that guy. Worst that can happen, I sit in the box for a couple of minutes. Big deal. Sports, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Anyway, that's it. I interviewed on this morning's show a couple of people that were involved in camping. I guess camping is National Camping Month. Did I say camping is National Camping Month? Oh, my God. June is let's start again. Hi, welcome to the program. June is National Camping Month, is what I meant to say. So I interviewed two guests separately about camping. It was difficult for me to do these interviews because I hate camping. I do. And the reason for that is that I hate camping. I know a lot of you love it. You grab a kayak or a canoe and you go hiking. I think I'm a little too old for that, but even when I was of age to hike and camp, I still didn't want to do it. You know why? For a few reasons. First of all, there's bugs and insects out there that are out to bite me and give me scabs and to make me bleed. I don't like bugs buzzing around me. It's not pleasant. Number two, did you notice that when you're camping out in the woods are not air conditioned? Ron, there's a lot of shade in the woods. Not if it's hot outside. It doesn't make any difference. So, no air conditioning, a lot of bugs. And that's just some of it. I don't like hiking. Because there's no reason. I mean, let's hike that trail. Why? Is there something at the end of the trail? Is there like a bar or something? Like, or is it? Is there a theater there or a restaurant? Like, why are we walking from here to there through the woods on uncharted territory with roots coming up out of the ground that I can trip over, and rocks and all that, and bugs and sweat and heat. Like, why are we doing that? What's at the end of it? Oh, there's nothing at the end. We're just hiking the trail, and then we'll hike back. Or we could hike back on a different trail. I don't understand what you're saying. Canoeing? All right, that's fine. But I don't, again, where are we going? Look at all the pretty trees. Hey, I live in a place where there's pretty trees. I don't need pretty trees over there. I've got pretty trees over here. I guess I'm a little difficult in that way. I love nature, but not to the point where it's going to put me out. Because I don't understand why people desire to go back to a time when they didn't have electricity or stoves or any conveniences of life. They didn't have, so they didn't have electric lights. So why are we sleeping on the ground when they make beds now that actually you can tilt them up and you can read in bed, and they have the sleep number thing where your sleeping partner can be at a different number than you? Why am I sleeping on rocks on the ground in a sleeping bag? What are we doing? Well, Ron, we're roughing it. I know we are. Why are we doing that? They invented all this stuff. They have hotels now. You can stay in those things. You can shower, bathe, be nice and comfortable. Why am I lying on the ground on rocks? I don't get this. I don't understand. Why am I eating out of a can? Well, Ron, we can build a campfire and we can roast marshmallows. That's sugar. That's going to kill me eventually. And why would I want to sit around a fire? Doesn't anybody have a stove? Anybody got a stove? I don't get the roughing it kind of. I just don't understand that. I don't get it. So I'm not big on camping. So when I did these interviews, I was a little bit cynical with them because I don't. And I said, I said in the interviews, I know that there are a lot of people love camping. I don't particularly love it. And then they tried to talk me into it. And toward the end of the interview, it was like, why are you trying to do that? You're not going to be able to. So that was it. So I run into that every once in a while. I forgot a couple of passwords last week that I needed to get onto. See, I don't use the same password for every site. There's like 80 sites that I need a password in order to get into it. I don't know why, but I do. I have to have an email and a password. So I write them all down because I think older than the age of 50, you start writing everything down. Before that, you can actually remember it, or you technologically know what to do with all this information. Over 50, I better write it down. That's how you know how old you are. You don't count the number of rings around your waist or the number of birthdays you had. It's when you have to write things down to remember them. That's when you just turned 50. And you all will get there, hopefully. It's the kind of thing where, something comes up on your computer screen. I have a desktop that shows you how old I am. So I bring something up on the screen and I print it out. And people say, why are you printing it out? It's on the screen. It's in your computer. Yeah, I know. But what if my computer died? I'd be dead. Nothing would happen to me anymore. All my information is in that stupid thing. So then I was told to store my information in a cloud, to which I responded, which one? When I look up at the sky, there are various clouds. I'll store it in the big puffy one. It looks like there's a lot of room up there. It looks quite pleasant. What happens on a clear day when there's no clouds? Where'd all my information go? Hey, where's all my information? Is it flying over Australia? Where are the clouds? Send in the clouds. Who sang that song? Anyway, yeah, so I store my information in clouds, and that makes me quite nervous because, what if it rains? What if it rains? and I got my information and all my passwords in the clouds. All of a sudden, all my information and all my passwords will be like all over the place, all over the ground. I don't know. I don't know how that works. And why am I storing my personal information on the very device that I'm storing my personal information so no one can take it off of the device, but I'm putting it in the device for storage? Doesn't make sense. I know, I don't, yeah, Ron, it's cryptid, it's not cryptid, I don't know, it's the dark web, it's the dark ages. I have no idea about any of this stuff. It's way beyond my pay grade, and it's way beyond what I really care about, because I existed in a time when all this crap wasn't necessary and things were just fine, and we used pens to write things down. Whatever. Okay, fine. Let's move on, shall we? I know someone who has a Roomba vacuum cleaner. It's a round robot. I think it was the first robot that ever became popular for household work. And it's a round disc, and it has a little charging base. And when the disc is finished running around your rooms trying to clean them, it goes back to the base by itself, and it recharges itself. Cooks dinner for you, will give you a massage, will take the dog for a walk. It's very, very handy. One thing I don't understand about it, and I said this to the owner of the Roomba, I think it's called Roomba, different brands. They're big round discs, look like little fine saucers with little brushes and bristles on the bottom. And they, it looks like cute. But I said, like, what happens if you have dust and dirt in the corner of your room? Nobody ever thought of that. Because, you can't take a round disc and fit it into a square corner. It's geometrically is not possible. So does the round disc morph into a square? No, I never saw it do that. So how do you clean the corners? Because that's where all the dust collects. There was no answer. I don't know if there is an answer. I'm sure there is. I don't know what it is. It makes no sense to me. I got a notification on my Facebook, I think it was. I have a Facebook account, have a couple of them, because when I created those accounts, I didn't know just how bad Facebook was eventually going to be. So I have these Facebook accounts, and I get a notification that Bob changed his profile picture. Oh my God! Is he all right? Why are they announcing this to me? Bob's profile picture of him standing in the corner? He changed it to where he's standing a little bit more to the left. Bob, what are you doing? The entire world knows that you changed your picture, Bob. And Bob says, I didn't tell everybody. That's what Facebook does. As soon as I change my profile picture, it tells everybody that I know that I changed my picture. I'm a little embarrassed about that. Well, you should be, Bob, because it's stupid. That's why, because it's stupid. And by the way, Bob, in your profile picture, your head is cut off. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all these profile pictures on Facebook and other places where it's them from the neck down. And why? What? That's not a profile picture. That's a no head picture. And before I make fun of these pictures where people's heads are cut off in the picture, maybe that's an actual handicap that some people have where their heads had been removed. They were decapitated for medical reasons, possibly, and they actually have no head. So I should not make fun of people that have no heads. So I don't, but I'm just saying, if you have a head, it should be in the profile picture, because otherwise it looks like something's terribly wrong. It looks like a hostage photo. I don't understand why people do the profile pictures without their heads. And I guess the heads are cut off because of the size of the picture, but then you should kind of probably correct that. I don't know, just an idea. I also, not only do I get a notification, but a very stern one that, oh my God, somebody you know changed their profile picture. No! I must look at it right now to see what the change was. Sometimes they'll also update or add to their story. I didn't know you had a story. We all have stories, but why do you have to know? What's your story? Hey, what's your story? What's your story? Somebody I know added to their story, I am a male, 20 years old, and I like skiing and boating. And they update their story. And canoeing. Oh, canoeing too. I would never know that. Thanks for the notification. It always amazes me how social media people, for some reason, think that everything they do is worth something to everybody else. That everybody else, because they're your Facebook friends, are vastly interested in everything that you do. I blew my nose yesterday, and I've updated my story. It's why do you think people are interested in that? What is it, a pompous kind of thing? Everybody must know everything that I do in my life, because you will find my life intrinsically interesting to yours comparatively. I must tell you about everything about myself so that there's no question about anything that I did or will do. It's absolutely absurd. And to be honest with you, it's a little stupidly embarrassing for you. I don't care. Am I being taunted by you? In a way, but I don't care. I can block you, which is basically making sure that you don't exist within my circumference. It's so stupid. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Every Christmas, yeah, I know, I'm changing subjects. Transitions sometimes are not very impressive. Every Christmas, I get a few Christmas cards. Specifically, you open up the Christmas card, and inside is an actual letter tucked inside of the Christmas card. And you open the letter up because you assume it's a restraining order, but it's not. You open the letter up, and it's a long, sometimes written even on the back of a piece of paper about this size. I brought a prop, and it's titled "Things We Did Last Year That We Think You Should Know About." That's not the title. That's what I make it out to be. They say season's greetings or whatever. Johnny went to school this week. Marianne went to camp during the summer and stubbed her toe. My second daughter, Louise, developed chlamydia. And we went to a concert last week of the Beach Boys. It was fantastic. I've sent you a CD of all the music that I illegally recorded. We moved to another house last July and moved out of that house because it was infested, and bought another house in September. Marcia is now a prostitute, but is supporting the family. Our second cousin's brother passed away. Very sad, can't remember his name. Hope everything's good with you. Hope that all the stuff that we told you is incredibly interesting, as we believe it would be to everybody that we know. And then there's a picture inside of the Christmas card, along with the letter, of this family staring into the camera to have the picture taken, and they all look like they have no reason to live. And that's the holiday greetings that I get from the intrinsically interesting families that I may know. If you're one of those families that sent me that card, please stop it. But because we are human beings, we don't like to hurt people's feelings. So we don't tell them that they suck, we just block them. Or we take that card that they send us at Christmas time and hold it over a burning candle or something like that. But we don't say to people's faces, I find you very boring. What makes you think I care about all these things that you do? We don't do that. We just don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. If you see a baby, someone says, we have a new baby, come on over to the house, take a look at our baby, and you go over and you look at their baby, and you're not exactly moved by that, other than the fact that it's a baby. Maybe you're into babies, then that's a good thing. If you're not into babies, it's like, okay, very, very nice. I ask questions that I don't think I'm supposed to. I think you're supposed to say, how's everything? How are you feeling? I pretty much say, like, well, how is the delivery? Did it hurt a lot? How long were you in labor? Oh my God, that long? Oh my God. When did you conceive the child? Do you remember where you were? Was it in a hotel room in Atlantic City? I ask all these questions because I'm intrinsically interested in their lives, down to the smallest details. All right. We've got about 3 minutes left. I have to do this at this point. First of all, tell you that I am actually a very nice person. This is a theatrical portrayal of a grumpy guy. Impressive. I know. But this is not really what I'm like. I'm a loving individual. That's number one. Number two, I do a new show every single weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those are the weekdays. And you can hear me, a new show every one of those days that I talked about, on NewEnglandBroadcasting.com, or my name, RonVanDam.com, or you can Google that stuff, or you can go to any one of those platforms and listen to them anytime. We have over 2,600 episodes. That's a lot. I know. And that's my story. I'd like to thank the good people at this studio. The ECAT, still trying to figure out what that stands for. I thought it was for people that are freaked out by cats. I didn't know that it was an actual cable thing. I thought it was like, cats. But then I found out it's not that kind of organization. They do programming for the town, and I thought that's very nice. That's very nice. Maybe I should watch it more frequently and get involved in school committee meetings and things like that. And then I realized after watching them, no, pretty much leave it to them. I'm not interested myself. But that's why you have people who'll do the stuff that you don't want to do. That's why we have children. That's why we have spouses, to do the stuff that you don't want to do. Oh, you could do it, but you don't want to do it. And why should you? It's ridiculous. That's why you have children. I know it's to enjoy them and to go through the process, but in the long run, All right, I'm out of time. I'll be back next week with a new program here. Again, NewEnglandBroadcasting.com, RonVanDam.com. You can find me all over the internet, whatever that thing is. I wish you peace.